Why are you going out to make friends? Nobody likes you. I don't like you. You don't like you.
Here's another pro tip for you. Oil up the best part of your arm and then pull that thing out. Just at the right moment, the girl's coming to talk to you.
Welcome to the new Hyundai Venue. When you get on the inside of this, there's some great things and there's some not so great things, so I'm going to try to cover that. Now, you have to understand the price point that this is at, and then you can make a more objective judgment on how this is made and what you're dealing with. The first point is this is a budget vehicle, and there is a lot of cost cutting in terms of the interior materials, from like headliner to the door plastics to all the plastics really are very, very hard. And what it creates is a lot of just more echoey sound. It also creates like just hard areas, hard touch points. Like driving this a lot, I noticed my left elbow is always killing me because it's just like concrete over here where you rest your arm. The center armrest doesn't have a lot of padding. Nothing is padded in here. And that's okay because you're not expecting a luxury car experience. But there are some really great things about the way that they do industrial design. Now, this is pretty much the same as what you're going to get in the Kia Soul, but they've altered the interior space. Like the center stack's different, all this stuff's different, but they share similar dash architecture. So between each model, they can make it look slightly different, even though it can kind of like mix and match. What I like is how they don't have every single vehicle with the same HVAC controls. And they do a really good job with the physical controls here. It's a huge knob, so you see the temperature. You never have to interact with the touchscreen. The other thing that's really great is how solid the assembly is, the plastics here. When you turn the knobs or push on the plastics, there's no deflection. There's no movement in here. And you'll see that in products like the Toyotas, the competing Hondas. Everything feels very like flexible, pliable. You don't have that here. Even the infotainment screen, all of this is just really tight and feels very solid. And that's one thing I will say about this interior space. Now, there are other things. You have more traditional controls in here. The gauge cluster is analog. You have minimal use of a screen in the center area, which you're just going to use for fuel economy or showing your current song. Your shifter has this nice feel to it, nice solid feel. It's all like old school mechanical. Park is up, drive is down. You know exactly what gear you're in. You have a manual parking brake. Nice solid click to it. All your drive mode. Everything that you interact with is basic, and you're going to get in here, and if you want something more simple, and I say this a lot about Hyundai and Kia, their budget cars don't feel like you are in the cheapest piece of shit on the planet, and everything works quite well in here. Now, the audio system is pretty weak. I gotta be honest. You know, if you're somebody that likes music, you're gonna wind up having to probably swap out speakers if you really, really love to listen to music, because it's very flat, very tinny. There's a lot of harmonic distortion here, but again, you're not paying a lot of money for this, and you're not expecting huge, insane amounts of like luxury or higher end features. You just have to deal with some of this. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay are standard, all the things that most people want in a modern vehicle, all of it works well. Now, in terms of the cargo capacity, seats are all fabric, but they feel very comfortable. The adjustability is all manual, but you can kind of get, you can get where you need to be. There's a lot of adjustment in here if you're a bigger person. The back seats are pretty weak. I gotta be honest, that's one of the worst parts about this, and riding in the back is not very fun. It's a very rough ride. And it's one of the things you're going to want to test more than anything in here. You sit in the back seat on a test drive, put your kids back there, make sure you fit things. Now, the last part is the hatch space. The hatch space, when I used it with the cargo cover on there, I could barely fit my paper towels and my toilet paper in the back. It's really, really agonizing and frustrating how little cargo capacity is in the back, namely if you leave the cargo shelf on. If you take that off, it helps a little bit with height, but you almost always have to put the seats down in here to make it usable. It has far less room than a traditional sedan with a trunk until you put the seats down. Then you can turn this garbage can into a garbage can by putting my dumpster in it, which you can see how much space there is there, but it's very, very misleading. For everyday use, like if you have a car seat in the back, you can forget about putting the seats down. So again, it's about getting out there, test driving this, seeing how it is, and how it's going to work for your lifestyle. But I think I talked enough about the pros and cons of the interior. Let's put this on the lift. I am under the Hyundai Venue front-wheel drive. Now, there is something that I read and I hear about constantly when people watch car videos. Some people get excited for the sports cars and the exotic cars and all the comparisons, but I see a lot of people respecting and appreciating when we talk about affordable vehicles, because this is what real people drive every day, and it's one of the things that I take a lot more seriously doing this. In case of the Venue, this is definitely a lot more affordable, and you see it on the underbody. Little things like this. There's clearly space to put a cover over this underbody panel, which they remove. And some of it could be cost savings, which isn't likely. More of this is about the fact that you can get to every single thing under here. You can get to the starter. You can get to the coolant lines that run to the CVT from the radiator. You can get to your oil filter, your oil drain plug. Everything is accessible with literally no effort. And this is something that I really appreciate on more newer cars. If I don't want to spend a lot of money on a vehicle, I certainly don't want to be paying a ton of money to service it. So the accessibility to do simple things yourself is nice to see, and that's exactly what the Venue is like. Everything is steel on here. There's nothing fancy about it. It's strut front. They do have some aero covers or some underbody covers that run along the middle part of the car, but this is a more opened up vehicle compared to others. But let's take a look at the back. In the back half of the Venue, you're gonna see there's a ton of room back here. That's because they didn't have to deal with jamming an all-wheel drive module. So you get all this space, which is a benefit, again, if you want to service this. You have a manual parking brake. There's cables that run here to that assembly. The spring space, this huge torsion beam, the shocks, all this is accessible. If you ever had to do work, this is going to be a 20-minute job to basically service anything in here. Nothing is covered up. And clearly, if you're looking for this class of vehicle, this is what you're going to get. A lot of this is about cost cutting, cost savings. That's why the price is lower. And there are some trade-offs in ride. But really, this is a great time to take this thing for a ride and see how it operates. The Hyundai Venue, you've wanted it or not. It's a CUV, naturally aspirated motor, and their new CVT. Let's take a listen to this motor just tear it up, shall we? So comically, I wish it would just have an unlimited number of simulated shifts. This does not have gears, but it's trying to simulate it. I wish they would give you like 20 gears, so it'd just be like, and that would make it more amusing. They should have some hidden mode for that. But in all seriousness, this is like 85-90% of what a torque-converted automatic transmission feels like. They did such a great job trying to emulate what those do that most people are never going to notice. But I'm going to talk about this. The way that you're going to drive the Venue with this motor and transmission is either one, not at all, just breathing on the throttle, just slight subtle acceleration because you're going to get upwards of 36, 37 miles per gallon. But when you really need to get it going in this, when you really want to push it, you have to basically mash your foot to the floor. That's the best way that the transmission responds. So it's basically those two ways, because if you go half throttle and do all this other stuff, the car is vastly too slow to get going. Like in a rural area where you have to merge or on the highway, you're constantly just mashing it down. So you have to think about that when you're driving it. The problem with mashing it down is I feel like it feels like an old school 4-cylinder where you have to wind it, but it's so noisy. Like just slamming your foot down. You typically don't hear this as much anymore. It's just a really buzzy experience. So the positives are this drives, at least in the front seats, it's pretty supple. It rides well, it handles well, it gives you really good confidence driving it. The steering is way quicker than it needs to be, but it gives you that feeling that it has a lot of agility at the slower speeds. The negatives are the back seats, definitely, it rides way firmer in the back. And I had the same problem with the Kia Soul. And it's not that it's a big deal if all it is just the front passengers, but if you're putting like a baby back there, if you have passengers in the back all the time, you're gonna get annoyed by it really quick. Now, the other negative parts is this has a ton of road noise and a lot of wind noise. And if you're looking for something more quiet, more refined, you have to go to something like the Mazda CX-30. When you put these side by side, that is like the refinement level is so much higher than this. But again, that's gonna be more money. Now, the other stuff with it is visibility is pretty good in here. There's a lot of glass. You don't have to rely on like blind spot monitoring and all that as much in here. It just, you can kind of see everything. Now, the safety systems and everything work well, like they do in most Hyundai and Kia products, which is a big benefit if you're somebody that really needs to rely heavily on that. And the frontal crash mitigation is good. It's not hyperactive. The stability and traction control is very aggressive. It keeps you in check. So I'd say this is a good vehicle for a first-time car buyer, or if you have a kid that wants it, or you just need cheap transportation. But the last thing is just, this is not a very quick vehicle, that's for sure. Gets off the line. You're gonna have to constantly wind it out and push it to get it going. And if you need something with more power than this, you're gonna have to go to something with like a small turbo, or Kia or Hyundai's 1.6 liter turbo that gives you more torque. You don't have to beat on it as much. But really, I like the simplicity of this car, and I talk about it all the time. It's a naturally aspirated motor. The transmission feels pretty good. I have not had any issues in all the testers I've had now, and this is like the third or fourth CVT, the new generation CVT. I like the way that it drives. It's one of the better CVT experiences that you're gonna get. And really, that's kind of about it for the driving thing. I mean, there's not much else to talk about here. Let's head into the final thoughts. Final thoughts on the Hyundai Venue. You're wondering, how am I going to sum all this up? Well, when you look at the interior and the exterior as a whole, there's nothing that's so bad here that you want to run away from it. It doesn't feel like you're driving a dumpster with wheels. It feels like an economy CUV. So the good is the interior layout. They do a great job here. Everything works. The infotainment screen isn't sticking 20 feet out of the dashboard. The infotainment's quick. Your phone connects to it most of the time. The core functions work well. The simplicity of having a manual parking brake. Some of the instrumentation is classic. It's a great interior cabin for that price. Now there is cost cutting there. There's a lot of hard plastics, a lot of reverberation, a ton of like road noise that comes in here, and the audio system is not very good. But again, if you're getting this for around $20,000, you can live with some of those sacrifices for how well it does in other areas. Now the exterior, that's up to you. It looks like every other CUV to me. Drivability is a big concern. I feel like the motor is going to be extremely reliable. It's naturally aspirated, no turbo here. The CVT does a great job of emulating a normal gearbox in most conditions, and it's functional and gets good fuel economy for what the engine is. Now, the last part to talk about is ride quality, and this is the only area that I take issue with it, and the torsion beam in the rear end is basically there for cost-cutting measures. And what it does is it affects the ride quality for the rear passengers. And it's not the smoothest riding vehicle. It should be way softer than it is. So it's one of those, I would say, if you're gonna look out for one thing when you're driving this, make sure that you fit everything you need to in the hatch, because you have to put the seats down to make it usable. And you definitely want to drive it, make sure the ride quality is up to par and the interior, wind noise and all the noise that you're going to hear. But I actually enjoy driving this. The fuel economy is great, and it is a pretty good value for the money. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
So in the Midwest, you got to pick a jacket for where you're going. Limited edition, members only winter jacket, or the rarest starter jacket ever, Raiders fur collar. I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, let's do this.